As nighttime fell over Banwa, an even more private world emerges. Creatures move in the darkness, calling me from my sleep. Actually, it was Janet, the island manager, who woke me up. There was something she wanted to show me, and fast. We made our way to the shore, where one of Banwa's security guys, trained to look out for wildlife, had identified a hawksbill turtle ready to lay some eggs. Females usually come ashore in the cover of the night, finding quiet sandy beaches to nest in. We switched to a red light so as not to disorient her.
Well, we did not want to stress the turtle, so we're just quietly trying to observe it. She looks like she's very tired. She's covered the egg. I saw that picture.
They lay about 130 eggs in a clutch. Once finished, she covered the nest using her hind flippers.
Looks like she's going to reposition herself.
A very interesting detail is that after she has buried her clutch, she transfers and creates a decoy nest, making use of her flippers to disturb the vegetation to create this clever ruse. What a truly incredible experience, witnessing nature unfolding. It was totally worth losing sleep for. The next morning, I was very fortunate to get to talk to Dr. Teri Aquino, a wildlife veterinarian and close consultant to Banwa's Aquos Foundation, which I will learn more about in the next few days.
We witnessed a turtle laying eggs in the island. How many of these turtles make Banwa their home?
So as far as individuals are concerned, I think we documented about 60 nesters coming here and making their nests.
So when they were constructing the island for the resort, what conservation efforts did they make for all of these turtles?
One of the things that we needed to do was make sure that the turtle is not impeded from coming up the island and nesting where they're supposed to nest. And the fact that they have buildings well spaced out, there's at least an option for the turtle to find a space between the buildings where they can lay. So every step of the life of the turtle, it is constantly threatened. So more than anything, it's all about nest protection and documentation so that we would learn more about what the population needs and we can better understand the population.
How is the community involved in the protection of the wildlife?
We've involved them in our training. So it's not just the Banwa staff that's been trained to handle turtles properly or even marine mammals, for example. Every time there's a training, we invite the local community so they can think about starting their own initiatives in their area.
It has also become very clear to me that the resort's management was equally concerned in preserving the island and its wildlife for the future, as much as making sure you have a great stay. This challenge was given to Bernard and to the island's Aquos Foundation.
Knowing that we have this important species found in the island, the management opted to create this Aquos Foundation in order for us to preserve, conserve, and nurture what species that are thriving in this island. We also try to record the alien species found in the island because that shows how lush and how the island is not disturbed even though we're operational.
And there's food.
There's food available because of this lush garden, lush environment. We have 62 avian species recorded from 2015 until now. 7 of those are under threatened list.
An important bird species that has also made Banwa its nesting site is the Philippine megapode or tabon bird, which I enjoyed getting to see up close.
It's funny when I see them, they're just always digging and making holes everywhere. What's the purpose of this?
One of the requirements for an area that they will choose to be a nesting area is that it should have
sand.
Yeah, it's sand. It should have an access with the direct sunlight, and it should be covered by a thick vegetation. So what's the purpose of having a direct sunlight? Because that's their means to incubate the eggs. By digging, they're increasing the heat of the egg. By covering, they're reducing it.
Can they feel when the eggs need the sun
Yes.
and when the eggs need to be cooler?
Well, actually, they know. They base it on the weather also. If it is too hot, then they will definitely covering them with more sand. If it is too gloomy, that the eggs needs heat, then they will have to remove it. That's why we put CCTV cameras on their nesting ground so that we could gather information for us to understand them without disturbing them. And I think we're proud enough to say that we have the most information about these birds because this is a very poorly known even species.
Anywhere I go, I love observing and learning about the local wildlife. And here in Banwa, it's like walking around a nature reserve.
I spent a whole lot of time just looking for these birds. You know, they're usually camouflaged, their colors. But when you find them, it's such an achievement. And your whole morning of looking is worth it. Can you see that? It's a wild spider.
But I wanted to find one more on the list, whose calls I hear at night.
We're trying to look for the Mantanani scoop owl. They're very active at night, hunting, but in the mornings, they're just roosting and resting inside this tree here. It's difficult to find them. You'll have to see their big eyes. I have to go in and get a better view.
Their vibrant yellow eyes peer down at me from the trees. What's interesting is that these owls are very territorial. That there would only be one pair for an entire island. But here in Banwa, they have 2 pairs of owls, successfully breeding 12 fledglings. Bernard and the Banwa staff pride themselves in volunteering as citizen scientists in the different programs of the Aquos Foundation. They receive training in identifying, collecting data, and monitoring wildlife around the island. This island is not just a beach getaway. It's a sanctuary chosen by these wildlife and the setting of ongoing scientific research to understand them. Up next, from the terrestrial, I dive into the aquatic world of Banwa, where more of its conservation efforts can be seen, before indulging in the island's culinary delights and impeccable service.